Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another shoutcast practice video. Today I am going to be spectating a good friend of mine named Kanaka. Don't have that much time, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into things. Over on the blue side, looks like we have a Jhin Leona bottom lane, Jace up in the top lane, Jungle Ezreal, and Brand in the mid lane. Meanwhile, over on the red side, we've got Ornn up in the top lane, Evelynn in the jungle, Orianna at mid, Misfortune at AD carry, and Sona her support. So, trying to break down the lane matchups here real quick. I do think that the biggest advantage in the bot lane goes to the blue side. They do have the Jhin with his 4th shot and Leona to do a significant amount of burst damage all at the same time. Now, Leona did actually go with Exhaust, not Ignite, so it reduces their ability to burst by a little bit. But it is Sona, who's very, very squishy. Now, I know that the new runes have greatly enhanced her ability to do damage and to be effective in the game. So, we'll see how that ends up playing out. They do have the Misfortune who can do a lot of damage early on, and if they're not able to find an opportunity to go in early, red team will take over the game because Misfortune, Sona have just so much poke damage that there's not a whole lot they can do about it. So, we're going to be going ahead and loading in. The stream will be shutting down briefly, but I can keep on talking. In the mid lane, we do have Brand Orianna. I really think that this is a matchup that Orianna wins. I'm not really a fan of the Brand in the mid lane. Not into the Orianna, she's just too safe. She does a lot of pretty safe damage, and Brand's damage is all very telegraphed. Pillar of Flame takes a long time to come out. Seer is a very obvious skill shot, so it'll be difficult for, I think, the Brand to really do anything to the Orianna. She should be able to farm up. If he plays safe, he shouldn't have any issue of dying, though, because Orianna doesn't have that much kill threat in the mid lane. Now, up in the top lane, we do have the Ornn versus the Jace. This matchup does favor the Jace early, but only in the very early stages. So if Jace is able to get a lot of early poke onto Ornn in the first couple of levels and get some good damage down, Ornn is going to be crippled in the lane. However, if Ornn can weather those early levels and start building items while he's in lane, it's going to drastically shift in his favor, especially if the Jace starts building lethality. Ornn will probably stack armor first, and it will make it very, very difficult to actually kill him. Finally, the jungle matchup, we do have Ezreal versus Evelynn. I like the Ezreal here quite a bit. He's going to have a lot of damage, especially he's gone with Summon Aerie, so we'll be doing a lot of early pressure and early ganking power, especially trying to go onto the Evelynn as well, as I don't know how effective she is going to be if he does choose to invade, and her clear is not nearly as fast as Ezreal's is, so, but it will all depend on how well the early levels go. Ezreal jungle is a bit of a feast or famine champion, a role, I guess, to play the champion in, so we'll have to see how he does end up playing the matchup. I think in general, I'm more of a fan of blue team's team composition. They have, I think, better poke. They have better engage. I think in general that they're doing much better job. However, it's going to be very dependent on Valhalla to get his team ahead in the early game and to get himself ahead. If he can't find the early ganks and is stuck to just farming or even dies early on to the Evelynn, there's not a whole lot he can do. Evelynn actually taking Dark Harvest, so if she can get going, she is going to be doing a lot of damage to enemy champions. This is actually the first game I've shoutcasted after the new runes have gone live, so there's going to be a lot of really weird stuff going on. You can see the Sona with the Kleptomancy. Should be interesting to see how that plays out. And I do think that new runes have really affected how champions are valued and how champions are able to play the game. I think, for example, that Jhin is left sort of in a rut because he doesn't have a very good keystone. Deathfire Touch was a great option for Jhin, and he doesn't have that as an option anymore. So he's kind of stuck with taking a subpar option in either Arcane Comet for the little bit of extra poke he would have gotten from Deathfire Touch, or in going with something like Fleet Footwork for surviving the lane, but I don't really know that he needs Fleet Footwork. He doesn't really need to just farm out a lane in the same way that someone like a Vayne does. Jhin is a lot more comfortable with being a more aggressive AD carry if he can help it, especially when you have someone like Leona. Now, Leona, interestingly enough, has gone with Grasp of the Undying, which I think is a weak option on Leona. I'm not a big fan of that because you have to be in combat for 4 seconds before you're able to get the bonus auto attack. So ideally, I'm assuming this Leona is attempting to kind of pull the Fervor strategy from a couple months ago. The problem is Grasp requires you to be in combat for so long before it becomes relevant at all, while Fervor could stack up immediately. So I would have liked to have seen an Aftershock, and I would have liked to have seen possibly even Guardian just to keep the Jhin alive, but we'll have to see how he does end up playing it in-game. And Jace with the Grasp as well. Again, I'm not a big fan of that option. I think that Jace could have easily benefited from something like Press the Attack. He can proc it very quickly with Hypercharge, and if he does able to get the 4 auto attacks off, or the 3 auto attacks off, I should say, then a lot of damage is going to go down to the Ornn instantly, and then he can follow up with the Q combo and just annihilate Ornn in the early stages of the game. So we will have to see how that ends up playing out. And I think that in general, the new rune system is going to be interesting to see how it plays out in this game. Getting a little bit of a stalled loading screen here, but should be in there pretty quickly. It's going to be interesting to see how it ends up playing out, because there are a lot of really weird options. I think in general, though, the defensive options are a lot lower, which is why I think both teams have gone for more aggressive champions. There are actually only 2 tanks, 1 per team, so that kind of goes to show just how much the new system seems to prioritize damage over other things, and that's why champions like Sona and Misfortune are just so much stronger in this new meta. At the same time, the system, like we kind of talked about, doesn't have options for everybody. Brand obviously really sucks not having Deathfire Touch. Jhin not having Deathfire Touch is a big disadvantage. Orianna doesn't really want to go into Domination for Execute, as she can't use most of its runes, so instead has to settle for Arcane Comet or Phase Rush. So it's interesting to see how players are trying to adapt to the new system and figure out exactly what they want to pick up going forward, and we'll see how the meta kind of shifts and evolves. Obviously, this is solo queue games. This is not very organized competitive play, so we will have to see how everything shapes up. But it looks like we are on the Rift for the game, blue team versus red team. Let's go ahead and break down the players. Over on the blue side, we've got Overwatch Hentai up. He's at 80 carry. I forgot everything's not in order. PW Darklight up in the top lane. Valhalla in the jungle. Scorpiex in the mid lane. Overwatch Hentai at 80 carry. And PW Mega Ridge, his support. Meanwhile, over on red side, looks like we have Kanaka up in the top lane. Ringme Evelyn in the jungle. Mid Maokai only at mid. Yuna at 80 carry. And Foreskin Jhin, her support. I'm not expecting a lot of early aggression out of either one of these teams with the new speed boost on home start. A lot of teams have been basically going to that bottom side pixel brush and essentially thunderdoming it out at level 1, but it looks like teams this time around choosing to not go for that strategy, instead start safely on the buffs and not worry about it at all. Actually, the Jhin standing in the mid lane, I'm wondering if this actually isn't a lane swap, sending the Brand down into the bottom lane. I don't know that I like that as much as I like the Jhin in the bottom lane with the Leona to try and get early all-ins. But having the Brand does help you a little bit, as if you can land the Zenith Blade, it almost guarantees Pillar of Flame lands, which then almost guarantees Seer lands. It potentially has a lot of really good power for an early all-in, but Brand being so incredibly squishy means that Sona Poke is going to do a lot of damage to him and really make it difficult for him to do anything. Meanwhile, the Jhin in the mid lane can get annihilated by the Orianna. No way to farm reasonably from a safe distance, no real way to escape from a shockwave if it comes out. It'll be interesting to see how that does play out. Kanaka taking a little bit of harass up on the top lane, but it shouldn't be too hard. And actually, Ezreal with a very, very large leash. I don't know that he necessarily even needed that much of one to get through his early camps, but did get a significant leash, which means that his bottom lane will be at a slight disadvantage in lane because they might have missed some experience point. But it does mean that Ezreal is going to be out to a very good, solid start. Minmiaoka only actually getting bullied away from the CS here by the 4 from Jhin. Does take some damage, but is going to be able to trade it back with the auto attacks. Overwatch Hentai taking about as good as he was able to give. So Mid Maokai only doing some damage back. And remember that Mid Maokai does have Ignite to the heal of Jhin, which I do think favors the Ignite. So if there is an early all-in, I do think that the Orianna has a much better chance of getting the first kill here. And Ornn actually trading back very effectively into Darklight. I think Ornn is just a very solid, strong pick up in the top lane right now, especially into champions that are trying to bully him early on, like Jace. I don't really think that there's that much that Jace can do into that pick. Just because you kind of can bully him for the early levels, and after he scales up, there's not a whole lot else you can do. So Kanaka able to resist some of this early pressure. PW Darklight low on mana though. The Ezreal is here, but it looks like Remy Evelyn is in the top side, so this might actually be an early trade. Kanaka taking a lot of damage, but able to get out, and Ezreal Arcane stepping over the wall. Shouldn't have any problem with getting away from the Evelyn early on. Now, a lot of damage actually going down on a Kanaka. Will probably want to back up before too long, or risk getting poked down under tower. But it looks like we'll be sticking around trying to heal up some items. Gets the knock up under tower, but PW Darklight will not be taking any tower aggro. But Ken slowly healing back up and not quite going down. But Valhalla now in the mid lane gets the first Mystic Shot down. This is going to be the W landing from the Jhin. Miyake only running for his life. I don't think he has enough damage to do it. May have to flash away. The flash at the very end, but the flash forward and the 4 from Jhin is going to be able to pick up the first blood of the game. Not enough respect shown from mid Miyake only. Really trying to hold on to the flash, but flash doesn't do you any good if you die then. And actually going on to Darklight actually kills him. I was not expecting that to kill. There was a couple of minion auto attacks that were able to finish it off, and that's kind of what I'm talking about. Just so much damage on this full tank champion makes it very difficult. Valhalla now in the bot lane, but doesn't have red buff. Very difficult to actually get the gank to go off, and it looks like they will be able to poke them down as they run away. Trade back about as bad as they took, and they do have the Sona sustain as well. Does have quite a few potions, especially with that kleptomancy, keeping her topped up on items. So ultimately, I think this was a better advantage for Red Team as long as they back off and play safe here. If Valhalla comes back, which it looks like he is going right now, getting some damage onto Yuna. Yuna trying to run away as fast as she can, but Valhalla not looking like it wants to continue the play. Will be trying to recall in the bush, but Red Team messing with his recall a little bit. I think you just want to let him go back, play it safe until you know he's recalled, and then go back to farming. There's not a whole lot else you can really do here. And the Ornn coming back to the top lane now does have that Bambi Cinder available. Interesting to see. Actually, Valhalla gets brush cheesed from mid Meowkai only. Is going to go down for Red Team's second kill of the game. Very nicely played, realizing they saw him walking up through the river, so it's an easy matter for the Evelyn, or for the Orianna, to walk all the way around, wait in the brush, and if the Israel comes by, immediate all in, get the damage down, and with the ignite has the kill threat. PW Darklight trying to trade back onto the Ornn, but Ornn very, very tanky. I don't think he wants this, and low on mana as well. This will be the Q landing, the W landing. Looks like this might be a kill. No, a flash forward, a flash traded back as well, though, and Kanaka not able to finish up the kill. The shock blast on the end there, not quite landing, but the Ornn doing what he does best, and basically bullying these aggressive early champions. This is going to be called the Forge God coming down. Will Kanaka be able to land it? No, not enough damage, and potentially not realizing that you can redirect that. Kanaka, I don't believe, is an Ornn player, so doesn't understand that you can redirect that, because that might have been a kill otherwise. PW Darklight would have been put further in the hole, but fortunately was able to avoid taking enough damage there. So can continue farming this out. Now, the Jace is a little bit tankier than he should be normally. Does have the Resolve tree picked up, so ideally won't be dying quite as easily to the Ornn as he may otherwise, but definitely not doing quite as well as he could have been. And the Kleptomancy, you're seeing it there. Another biscuit picked up for Foreskin Jhin. Just a lot of difficulties with the blue team doing anything. The Leona is behind, can't really afford to go all in. The Brand just not quite as good of a bottom lane. I really would have preferred to have seen the Jhin in the bottom lane for a little bit more kill threat, but he did pick up the first kill of the game in the mid lane thanks to the gank from Valhalla, so you can't really fault him too much. A good flash 4 auto attack was able to take it. So game settling back down, players going back to farming, not quite as much aggression here, and Valhalla so far has not had the effect I've wanted to see him have on the game. Currently, it seems like for the most part he's been content to farm. He was able to help get that first blood of the game, but hasn't gotten that much else besides. Did go bottom lane, took a lot of damage, and then ended up dying actually. So not as much pressure from the early Ezreal jungle that I would have liked to have seen. No early invasions actually onto the Evelyn to get some kind of early pressure. Evelyn obviously with not a terrible early game, but not a great early game either. Obviously missing out on that stealth until level 6. Finally makes the first gank, flashes forward actually for the charm onto the Jhin. Jhin trying to run away, will be able to get the snare down. Evelyn is actually level 6, but does not pull the trigger on the ultimate. Finally uses it to get out of range of the curtain call, but might have been able to get that kill there, not pulling the trigger on Widowmaker until the very end. And Kanaka now trying to trade back onto PW Darklight. Looks like can't get anything. A bit of a misplay for Evelyn. Finally goes in for a gank, the first of the game, and wasn't able to actually get anything. Burned the flash, got the charm off, but then not committing to the rest of the gank, not pulling the trigger, and a misplay, I think you can say, on the behalf of the Evelyn player. I don't really know that I want to keep saying that screen name and in full, so I think I'll just stick with Evelyn for now. You guys probably understand. Actually, Overwatch Hentai taking a lot of damage here. Min Meowkai should be able to finish this off. One more auto attack. No, actually, the command attack will be able to finish off the Jin for a return kill. Ornn now at 2-0 very, very effectively here. And Kanaka trying to run away for his life, getting a lot of damage dealt. PW Darklight is in, Hammer Form is there, and Kanaka will fall. No flash available after trying to make the play earlier on. And Ezreal back with the red buff has the gank pressure. You have to respect that and make sure you're warding up. And Kanaka did not have any wards in the river, just in the Tri-Brush. And the Ezreal's just going to walk at you from Tri-Brush, so ultimately does fall down. A kill traded back on the side of blue, so they do have a little bit more aggression on this. Jace might be able to come back, but if he does go for the lethality build, there's basically nothing he's going to be able to do against the Ornn. Ornn actually, with a Crystalline Bracer now built up, looks like maybe going for an early Righteous Glory, which I don't know that I like on the Ornn. Sunfire Cape obviously not in a great spot right now, but the early Bandit Beast Cinder for the wave clear, and then potentially going into something else. Valhalla going for a red buff steal here, and Evelyn is not there. Evelyn did not realize what was happening, goes for the ward in the river, and will find the red buff and realize it's gone, so not able to get anything else. Stealth is there, but realizes that they know. Kanaka actually trying to go for a play up in the top lane, misses the redirect though, and PW Darklight again will walk out with his life. Definitely disadvantage for playing the early champion. Valhalla getting some damage down onto Evelyn. The blind Mystic Shot, now followed up by the red buff. May want to continue going for this, but there is a roam over from Min Meowkai only, and it looks like Evelyn will be able to get out of this no problem. So, gold just about even at the 10-minute mark. No team really finding a tremendous advantage. Evelyn finding the pink ward, able to kill that off, but not that much early pressure going back and forth. Teams just both junglers playing good early junglers, but not really making that much happen. There was the one successful gank of the Ezreal. This actually is going to be the ultimate down onto the Jin player, but the charm comes through as well. Evelyn is in, trying to get off the finishing kill. The Widowmaker is not enough. Smite not either. Foreskin Jin is there though. The crescendo comes through to stun up Mega Ridge, but Mega Ridge really wants to make this play happen. Valhalla is there as well. Min Meowkai only is there as well, but there is no damage to follow up. He doesn't have any mana. Remy Evelyn trying to come back in now. Valhalla taking a lot of damage from the Sona. PW Mega Ridge will sacrifice himself to save his teammate, but that will be a kill on the side of red. And Kanaka now trying to get some aggression onto Darklight, but not enough to come through. Very nicely played by red team, finding an opportunity in the mid lane. Evelyn again pulling the trigger, this time a little too early, not able to get the kill, but was able to finish off Jin anyways because of some good timing on the rest of the teammates. The supports roaming up to help make the plays. And this is the one advantage you have with the Brand bot lane, is that you do have relatively safe wave clear. So it really keeps the enemy team from being able to aggress on him if your support does roam, as he can just kind of clear away the wave with Pillar of Flame and his E. So that kind of advantage, but when it's followed by another charge up from the Sona, not a whole lot else you can do about that. That is going to be a Drake now picked up for red. Cloud Drake, so the early roams will be there. And it looks like Evelyn will actually appreciate that quite a bit, as she will be able to get a substantial amount of more ganks off. This is actually going to flash in. The E is there, though. Foreskin Jin taking a lot of damage. This will be the detonate. And now Solar Flare comes through as well. Yuna stunned up. I don't think there's anywhere you can go. And PW Mega Ridge will be able to finish that off. No problem. Now, Overwatch Hentai, Shockwave is there. Will he be able to finish off the kill, though? Min Meowkai is trying to chase down, but command attack is not there. Jin reloads, and he decides the better of going for the kill. The bot lane, that's the disadvantage I was talking about. It's such a good early all-in. Now, Valhalla rotating down as well to try and finish off this first tower blood here. I don't know that there's going to be any way that blue team or that red team can respond to this. They have the Ezreal damage, they have the Brand getting some of the auto attack speed buffed, and this will be first tower blood actually going over to the side of blue team. So a very nice play in the bottom lane, realizing their strengths, getting the all in onto the Sona, who's just too squishy to survive a full combo from the Leona and the Brand combined, dies instantly, and then still had Solar Flare to follow up on the Misfortune. That's a big deal. Kanaka trying to get on PW Darklight now, but doesn't look like has has enough damage there. Won't be able to get in range for the brittled auto attack. Ornn not exactly being the fastest champion. Min Meowkai actually finished off the kill there. I can't believe it. Was not even paying attention for that at all. Evelynn is now in. The charm is there. Damage is down into Mega Ridge, but it's not quite enough. Yes, it is. Widowmaker pulls the trigger and is finally able to get a kill using that ability. Valhalla might be able to rotate down in order to contest the bot lane tower take, as Red's bot lane has respawned now, and they're trying to go ahead and make this happen. But like I said, the Brand Wave Clear is going to be very good, and with the Ezreal there as well, does have True Shot Barrage if they absolutely have to make sure they get the wave cleared out. So I don't think there's a whole lot Red Team can really do, especially now that Crescendo is down. Scorpiux, though, walking all the way into the bush. Evelynn trying to get some damage down. Bullet time is there. Scorpiux stands in the middle of it. He does get the Pyroclasm off, but it shouldn't be enough to kill either one of Red's team members, and they will pick up another kill, but the tower survives for now. I don't know why Scorpiux walked that far forward, maybe assuming, oh, we could definitely kill the Misfortune. She's all by herself. The Sona is too far away, but the Evelynn is there, and you know the Evelynn's there. The charm was just ticking. You have to think she's nearby if she's gotten that charm off. Ooh, missed blue buff handoff, actually. Evelynn taking it. Mid Meowkai only. Forced to walk back to lane. Is sitting on the Lost Chapter, so shouldn't be too starved for mana, but doesn't quite have enough sustain. And a rotate mid actually gets the speed boost down, trying to go on to the Jhin, but a shockwave whiffed. And now Overwatch Hentai trying to trade it back. Yuna is there, the slow is there as well, trying to survive. One last tick of the Ignite, though, finishes him off. The ultimate is there from the Ezreal, but it's not going to do quite as much damage. And now Evelynn is here, maybe trying to make a play. The charm is there, but also so is the Solar Flare. Remy Evelynn is stunned up, but flashes forward for one last Hate Spike, is able to finish off the kill. And now they're trying to go onto the island, but it looks like she will be able to walk away from this, no problem. Yuna walks up, even though absolutely bingo on health. So Red Team trying to get something back here in the mid lane, but I don't know what else they'll be able to really do. And it is interesting to note here as well that the Jace has adjusted his build. Started with a double longsword that looked like he was going to be going for the Serrated Dirk into lethality build, but instead swapping his build up, going for the cleaver, which is what I would have expected. Ornn finishing off the Sunfire Cape first, so does have a lot of armor stacked, but no boots yet, and that's a big reason for why he's unable to chase down the Jace. He just kind of transforms and walks away, and especially Jace when he does have the E available, there's not a whole lot you can do once he knocks you away. That actually is Pyroclasm coming through on a Min Meowkai only. The W from Jhin is going to miss, and Evelynn is around the corner. Might be trying to go on a Scorpiux. This is going to be the charm landing. Gets a lot of damage down, but the Solar Flare is there. Shockwave comes through, and Widowmaker is enough to get Evelynn out, and now Overwatch Hentai trying to trade back as well as he can. Min Meowkai also going for some early aggression, but not quite enough. Kanaka now trying to run away. Valhalla is there. No red buff, but no one on Red Team is coming up to save Kanaka. Trying to run away all by himself. Crescendo is through. Mega Ridge is taking the damage, but Solar Flare is enough to get the Jhin or the Sona stunned up. Curtain Call now out. Kanaka is able to survive. Fourth shot, not able to finish off any kills either. Yuna at full health, protecting her teammates, getting them out. A lot of ultimates traded back and forth there, but it was only one kill, I believe, that went over. No, Mega Ridge did survive that just barely. And Evelynn actually finally turning on, getting the kills they want, and with the Dark Harvest, that's going to be very effective. The charm is through. Was not expecting, really was thinking that it was going to be the immediate charm. When it didn't come through, you let your guard down, and the Evelynn's going to hit you with a Hate Spike and burst you. That Evelynn is doing very well. Actually, Jhin instantly dying. Mid Meowkai only now godlike with that kill picked up, not respecting the amount of damage that will come through. And now Blue Team trying to defend this. They do have the wave clear that I mentioned before. Scorpiux, though, taking a lot of damage. Pyroclasm is down, but not that much. And actually, Foreskin Jhin in conjunction with Evelynn, able to finish off the kill, getting the snipes through. Now Scorpiux all by himself. Yuna will finish that off with a bonus damage from Press the Attack. And Red Team now with a commanding advantage here in the mid lane. They do have Foreskin Jhin still hanging around. Their AD carry is high on HP, and they should be able to finish off this mid lane tower and equalize the tower game. They're actually already up 4,000 gold before even the tower goes down. So a huge gold swing, and Drake is spawning shortly, so they should be able to pick that up as well, as their Blue Team's jungler has only just respawned. And top lane, this is sort of exactly what Red Team wanted out of the game. As long as the Ornn can't be killed by the Jace, can't be soloed, the Jace is trapped there, can't really snowball the game like he really wants to. This is the scouting going down, so they know that Red team are starting this, but red team elect not to go immediately for it. They knew that Valhalla was dead, but perhaps respecting the fact that True Shot Barrage could have come out for the steal. But Evelyn with 2 levels on him, I don't know that they had that much to worry about. Ornn actually getting a lot of damage down onto PW Darklight here. Decent chunk. The knockback does come through from the Thundering Blow, and this may be another attempted ultimate snipe from Kanaka here, but not pulling the trigger on Call of the Forge God quite yet. PW Darklight will be able to clean up that wave and potentially go back. Does have teleport available in just a few seconds. It just came up, so shouldn't have too much to worry about there. And red team still hasn't pulled the trigger on the Drake, really respecting the enemy team's ability to contest. Scorpiox actually, they're finding out mid Meowkai only in their jungle. Shockwave is there, but it's not quite enough. And Evelyn now has gone in, but is relatively squishy. That is going to be Widowmaker, goes down the bullet time as well, but no kill is yet picked up. True Shot Barrage completely whiffing. And looks like blue team will be able to walk out of this. Blinking health bars, but everyone's surviving now. And Valhalla still on the map. The red buff picked up as well. Will be able to contest if they do attempt to go for the Drake. Looks like assist me pings going down on Drake, but no one pulling the trigger on it quite yet. And it looks like Jace was able to recall. Should be back up in the top lane to deal with the tower push from Kanaka. Not quite able to kill off that tower yet. And blue team now posturing around this dragon. The Zenith Blade actually missing on the Leona. Can't quite get anything traded back yet. So red team with the advantage here in the mid lane. They do have the tower down. Spooky Ghosties comes out. Mega Ridge is caught out. Does have the Eclipse. A flash forward from Sona. She does actually get the crescendo down. The auto attack comes through, but she will fall. Sheen massively boosting that damage. Remy Evelyn is now here. Goes in to try and buy some time, but does not still have Widowmaker and will fall to buy her 80 carry some time to escape. Blue team now with an advantage here in the mid lane. Not quite the combination that red really wanted to have here in the mid lane. So not able to quite find it, but will be able to keep their own tower alive. And now blue team actually going in for the Drake. Now, red team's turret actually was lost as well. Kanaka has wandered all the way down to try and contest the Drake. Their jungler is not alive, though, and Valhalla is here. Yuna does not have ultimate either. Call the Forge God does come out. We'll see if Kanaka can actually land it. No, whiffing again on that ultimate. Has not quite managed to figure that out yet. And so Scorpiox is in. Pyroclasm is down. Shockwave comes through. Min Meowkai only, finishing off one immediately. Mega Ridge is low, but is able to survive just long enough. Valhalla going all the way in. Kanaka is trying to get the damage down, but misses the knockup. Valhalla might be able to trade this back around. Sona is there though. Foreskin Jin is able to get off the auto attack and finishes off the kill onto Valhalla. The Drake goes down. No, the Drake is still alive actually. Red team trade a lot back, but are able to stop the Drake attempt. And you like the Ornn pick because it helped you survive against the Jace, but the continued whiffed ultimates really reduce Ornn's power. You want to see this champion getting those massive redirects, and now actually the Jin ultimate comes through, a flash away from Kanaka, and the third shot is able to finish off the kill. Jin picking that one up. Just not a great performance out of Kanaka. Obviously, I don't believe she plays the champion that much, but missing the ultimates, whiffing the ultimates, not providing red team with the advantages they really needed, with the plays they really wanted, was able to hold down the top lane, but still gave up the first tower. And now that Jace is free to roam, free to continue the split push game, is actually building for a Blade of the Ruined King, so we'll have a decent amount of kill threat on Ornn after this. Actually, Shockwave comes through. Overwatch 10 takes so much damage, it instantly goes down. And now PBW Mega Ridge all by himself. Scorpiox on the opposite side of an angry Evelyn. Evelyn, though, can't get anything else because Valhalla is there. A flash away. Pyroclasm comes through as well as True Shot Barrage. A lot of damage is there. Remy Evelyn is able to get out. Bullet time, perfectly channeled through the corridor, but not quite enough to finish off Mega Ridge. No, it is. Jin is there, finishes off the kill. And Misfortune, very nicely timed ultimate right as they're caught in the choke point, channels bullet time. And red team now again with a members advantage, not going for the Drake. They want towers instead, shoving down on the mid lane. And it looks like Evelyn will be trying to pick that up on her own. Should be able to solo that out reasonably well due to Hate Spike's damage. But we do have the Jace splitting of the top lane, trying to provide his team with some kind of pressure, but not that much that he can really do into the Ornn. Ornn being very tanky and defensive, and Cleaver is good for dealing with early top lane, or with tanky top lane champions, but you have to fully stack it up first. Not quite as effective, and Ornn actually trying to go for this, but that is a Jace with a reasonable amount of damage. The Black Cleaver completed. The Drake is picked up though. Darklight not able to quite provide the pressure he wants, not if the Ornn is able to trade back with him that effectively. And Orianna waiting around in bushes, does have the Shockwave available, but deciding can't quite find the insta-give potential. Does have actually the early Zhonya's Hourglass to deal with the Jhin. In addition to these Morello Namacon built up, would expect a little bit more AP to come out as well. But already doing a lot of damage with just the Shockwave Command Dissonance combo, and Kanaka all by himself, way caught out up in the top lane. Valhalla is there, the ultimate comes through as well, and it's just a zoning tool. Again, another whiff on the ultimate, but it doesn't matter, was able to create enough space to get away. Valhalla not having the red buff, if he did, that would have been a sure kill, but it looks like red buff hasn't even spawned yet on blue side. A bit of a whiffed, oh, actually a flash from the Jhin and the heal. This will actually be the damage coming through crescendo as well, but Foreskin Jhin running circles around Jhin and killing him off, saying, yeah, you pick my champion, I'm gonna kill you anyway. So very nicely played. Jhin not actually giving him as much credit as he should have, even though he flashed and healed, should have kept running, instead got hit by a max range crescendo. Not a lot you can do about that, I suppose, except don't be near the Sona at all. And red team have the advantage. They have a 3,000 gold lead here, but being relatively incapable of pressing their advantage further, not grouping up with their tank, trying to make plays elsewhere across the map. Baron is there. Actually, there we go. There is a roam up. PW Darklight is trying to run away, does have the acceleration gate and a lot of movement speed from Transform to maybe get him out. The charm has worn off, but they are still going for it. Hate Spike misses. A flash away from PW Darklight. He's almost to his tower. Command Shockwave comes through. This is going to be the damage, and this should be the kill. Widowmaker is enough to finish the kill. Evelyn will be able to pick that one up. Red team finally make a cross map play, but their waves are just not in position to get a push off now. So yeah, you gotta pick, great, but you don't have the waves in position to exploit it in the 30 seconds you've got man advantage. So red team slowly and surely letting blue team back into this, and if you do allow that brand to stack up, currently doesn't have that much damage down at the moment, only has the Rod of Ages fully stacked, of course, and actually a lot of damage going down, will be going down. Flash away actually should get him out. Not quite enough damage from Foreskin Jhin, but he will continue going for it. Kanaka now caught out in the mid lane. Foreskin Jhin will be able to finish it off, but back in the mid lane, Remy Evelyn will go down as well. Called Forge God is in. Again, another whiff from Kanaka. And this will at least be a tower traded back for red team. They were able to find the pick in the bottom lane, killing Scorpiex and finishing off the tower, but I don't know that they have the man advantage here in the mid lane. The Ornn is there, actually a ton of damage. Valhalla goes down instantly. Mega Ridge is caught out between a rock and a hard place. Kanaka is there trying to trade back the damage. Min Miyake only is there as well, and they should be able to finish this off. Overwatch Hentai now trying to get in and do something, but the slow is there from Command Dissonance, and Min Miyake only finishing off finally for the triple kill. Red team with a huge early advantage here now, and now trying to push down on the mid lane tower. They have the advantage. They may be able to finally make something happen. Jace is in the bottom lane, does not have teleport available, and with Yuna respawn and the Orianna there as well, might be able to make a play, but it looks like they may try to position around the Baron as well. Evelyn running in that direction. And now Yuna trying to get this off, but the brand wave clear is just so much. The Liandry's Torment and the Rod of Age is giving him a reasonable amount of durability, protection, and also the wave clear. But another shockwave instantly comes through. Scorpiex, though, survives for a lot longer than I would have expected. And this will be Foreskin Jhin giving up the shutdown gold. Pyroclasm is enough to finish that off in conjunction with the Blaze passive. So red team not able to get the tower, now no longer have the man advantage. They cannot continue pushing. Min Miyake only picking up some of the juicy fruits, but not enough pressure left on the map to continue going for towers, and this is the Jace I was expecting to see. Now over in the bottom side, continuously split pushing, and I don't know if Yuna really wants this. That is a very fed Jace. Blade the Rune King built up, may try to go for a play here, but instead just trading it back. Jace deciding, you know what, I don't want to go for this. Remy Evelyn actually is here. The charm is there, was positioned on the opposite side of Jace. A lot of damage is going down. The knockback is there, but no, Widowmaker is finishing it off. You can definitely tell that Evelyn plays this champion doing quite well on it. And Kanaka trying to trade something back up in the top lane, does get that tower. Valhalla there to try and wave clear, but not that much wave clear on the Ezreal outside of using his ultimate. And now red side positioning around Dragon, but that will not spawn for another minute 30. I would love to see red side start grouping up on the opposite side of the map, putting pressure on the Baron or on the mid lane tower. Scorpiex actually, this is going to be the knockback, not respecting the Orianna damage or the command shockwave that can come out, and going down in very short order. Scorpiex not having that great of a game here, obviously was in a bit of a disadvantageous situation to start with, being in the bottom lane, not really having the mid lane to just farm up in, under constant pressure from the Sona and the Misfortune harass, but has just made constantly bad decisions, going in and finding himself in bad situations that he really shouldn't be in, because I guess trying to make a play. Evelyn not able to quite land that, but the charm is still there. Call the Forge God does come through. The knockback is finally there, and there is the double kill. Picked up Solar Flare, picks up 3, but it doesn't matter. The damage should be down. Mid tower should be falling. The poke from Jace on the side doesn't matter, and the brand has respawned. They may be able to save this tower as well. Mega Ridge walks away, does get knocked up. Evelyn is there. The flash away. Shockwave comes through as well. Scorpiox instantly dies. Bullet time is there. The wombo combo, and Mega Ridge now has to run for his life or risk going down. Red team now with a massive advantage will be able to take home the inhibitor tower, and now finishing off the inhibitor as well. At 28 minutes into the game, about a 10,000 gold lead now for Red Team, and they should just go straight for Baron. It looks like they are going to. Very, very nicely played here. Evelyn keeps finding these picks, has been definitely the MVP so far on Red Team, constantly moving across the map, finding enemy champions isolated and alone, and finishing them off. Yuna with some very nice wombo combos as well. You put Red Team's wombos all together, call the Forge God, Crescendo, and Bullet Time, and people are gonna die. Not to mention the command Shockwave. Mid Meowkai has been annihilating people with the Lune's Echo built up now as well, and another needlessly large rod in inventory. Baron Nashor falls. Red Team will pick that one up. A solid 10,000 gold lead, and they're not even leaving the map. They're just gonna keep roaming around. Kanaka trying to go back onto Darklight, doesn't quite have the mana necessary, shouldn't be able to get the Jhin, but Call the Forge God does come out. Jhin is going to get knocked up. The W is there. Evelyn is there as well. He's airborne. He's taking damage, and Evelyn picks up another kill. Now, Mid Meowkai only actually trying to contest the dragon, but not able to quite get that. This will be Valhalla getting the smite down, and now a lot of damage comes through. The flash away is there. Foreskin Jhin, crescendos, and heal is enough to get his mid laner out alive, and Valhalla not quite able to get the kill with the True Shot Barrage. Now, actually, another all-in from the Leona, but teleport immediately comes through. I don't know what you were doing. Ezreal wasn't really there. Scorpius was on the blue buff of all things, and Red Team get another kill. Blue Team are just kind of trickling this one out, and Foreskin Jhin absolutely zooming, trying to get onto Valhalla. A flash away, actually, instantly from the Ezreal, realizing he was not going to survive an all-in from the Sona. And now Red Team actually not even bothering pressuring other sides of the map. Yuna actually forcing out a flash on the Jhin as well, but they don't have the wave quite yet. Scorpiox, though, in the bottom side, his wave clear is not there. I don't think Red Team can force this down unless they continue to trickle out blue side, though, but it looks like they do have Evelyn up in the top lane. A turret does fall. The inhibitor turret is down. Yuna is all in, but it doesn't matter. Has the Sona and the Ornn there to support him. Evelyn trying to finish off the inhibitor. Kanaka now tanking up the curtain call. A knockback. Scorpiox does fall. Yuna finishing off the kill. A solar flare goes down, but Yuna is still able to finish off the kill. Another inhibitor falls. Flash away from Yuna. She's very, very low, but Remy Evelyn is here now. Misses the charm, but is able to get the slow at least. Mega Ridge should be taking a lot of damage here. Might not fall, though. Very, very tanky on that Leona with the Abyssal Mask actually built up. And Red Team not able to quite get there. Still trying to finish off that kill, but juking back and forth outside the base, but the base is under siege. Yuna taking a lot of damage off those towers, is able to finish off Ezreal as he tries to arcane shift in. Leona now trying to mount one last heroic defense, but there are just too many Baron empowered minions, and this will be the game picked up for Red Team. Very, very nicely played by Red Team. There were a lot of missteps, I think, early on in the game, especially. In the mid-game, didn't really know what to do. We're kind of just walking around the map, picking up farm, maybe trying to look for a pick. Not a whole lot, but once they started playing to their strengths, having the Evelyn get an initial pick off and then going for the team fight with the wombo combo, were really able to come into their own and finish off the game. And Blue Team not playing to their strengths. They could have played the poke game. They could have sat back, used the Leona as sort of a zoning tool, and just tried to look for these kinds of plays, but not quite working out. I'm not a fan of the lane swap they did at all. I don't think it gave them enough pressure, even though they did get the first kill in the game. It just, you didn't have the presence you needed in the bottom lane to contest the early strengths that Misfortune Sona have. And so because of this, ultimately fell behind and weren't ever really able to catch up despite the mid-game struggles that Red Team had. So very nicely played, and definitely a good one to watch, and I quite enjoyed that. Anyways, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. If you've got any comments or concerns or just generally want to give me feedback on how I did, please go ahead and leave some advice down in the comment section below. I'm always looking to improve. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will talk to you all later.